Good morning, Sonder family. Welcome to your Monday morning setup. It is so great to welcome our Monday morning friends. My name is Jennifer Ogilvy. I get to be your facilitator this morning, and I was just typing away to y'all saying good morning, happy Monday, and I realized it said to host and panelists. So make sure your chat is set to everyone. I'm actually going to encourage a little extra chatting today because I have some questions for you to share with one another. So yes, make sure that chat is set to everyone. It is a beautiful Monday morning. You have Team Jennifer on the call this morning. So I'm Jennifer Ogilvy, and I'll be leading through our setup. And then joining me, popping on camera. Hey, Jennifer, you can say good morning.
Good
Jennifer
morning,
Crittner coming to us
everyone.
from Minnesota. She's there. Jennifer will be hanging out in the chat, and she'll answer any questions you might have along the way. If I'm kind of talking it up and something pops in your head, she can point you in the right direction. So we are ready to kick off this week. October, I don't know, y'all, is it flying for you? It is flying for me. This is like our last full week of October. Like we kind of have some November next month, and that's hard, or next week. It's hard to believe. So, just a quick little shout out to our personal coaching app that is in play. You might want to check that out if you haven't already. And then of course we love to shout out about those fun stickers. Get yours. We've got two options when you're looking at stickers. You can get the monthlies that match all the colors of the journal. And then this one actually I love. It's kind of our evergreen package. It's going to go with all of your journal colors, and it's just got lots of those repetitive stickers in there, like if you're setting up a little bingo board or whatever. So there's also those community guidelines that we like to remind you of, because we do create safe spaces when we are with one another. The main thing to remember is that this time is about you and setting up your journal. It's going to be a great, great week. We're going to work on our mind map. We've got lots of good things to do, but ultimately, always take care of your personal well being, and then just help us keep this a safe space by how you share in the chat. So, as you know, we've been digging into the opportunities that are in our lives this month. And I thought this was a great graphic. If you believe it will work out, you'll see opportunities. If you don't believe that it'll work out, you'll see obstacles. And I love the power in that quote, because it really is about our mindset and us taking control to create the kind of life we want to have. And yes, bad stuff might happen, but what can we how can we find the opportunities in that? I think that's what this quote speaks to, like opportunities, not obstacles. We can get through this. So, our morning together, we're going to do that mind map. We're on week 3. I didn't ask. I see lots of returning names, and we're so glad to see our returning Sonder family. Is there anyone here who this might be your very first setup social? If so, drop a me there in the chat so we can welcome you. Um, but we have a couple of newbies. Well, let me tell you, when you come, welcome, welcome to Tracy, welcome to Carrie. When you come to our weekly setups, you get a bonus prompt in your journal. It's a mind map. I'll tell you about that in just a little more detail in just a second, but it's kind of a bonus. Oh, Pam is joining us. Hello, Pam. So we have some new members at our setup today. We're so glad to welcome you. You've come to the best place. These are awesome people that you'll have this new community in your life. Kate is here for the first time. So good to see you all as well as our returning. And you will find you may get this cadence to setting up your journal, but you come to these socials for your accountability. You know that, like, my people are waiting for me. I'm going to sit down, work on my journal with my community. And it's a beautiful piece of accountability for that. So we'll do our mind map. I'll tell you a little bit more about that. We'll do our rosebud thorns section, and then we're going to do our weekly setup where there's just a ton of ideas. You're invited to always use your journal just as it is. But I've got some great ideas for changing things up a bit to maybe work in your life. So that mind map, we do every setup. As you know, there are that this is what my mind map looks like this month. I went to my last page in my journal so that it's easy to get to. That's a tip from our co-facilitator, Bailey. But other people do it in other spaces in their journal. I gave you some tips there to maybe find and create that space. If you're here for the first time, this is our week 3 prompt. You can screenshot all 3 weeks and maybe catch up if you want, but no worry, it will stand alone for just today if that's all you want to work on. So there is our mind map. And week 1 was about the educational opportunities we have in our lives. Week 2 was personal development. And then this week is about our creative opportunities. Now, I will go back to that screen so you can look at the other 2 weeks of questions. But let's talk about being creative right now. Imagine you have complete creative freedom and resources to work on a passion project. Ooh, we had passion earlier in the year. Think about those things that you decided brought you passion. What would you create and why? How does this project reflect your deepest values and interests? And how do you envision sharing it with the world? And so for me, if I just had, like, free realm and let's go, I believe I have a children's book in me somewhere down in there. So I'd love to write a book that would be influential to littles as well as grown-ups. Sometimes those children's books just have that message that speak so strongly. I would want something to do with the spark inside all of us, something that supports all readers to find the best in themselves and others. And of course, if it was a book, it would just be out there in the world, right? If I could get it published, I think I could, get that out into the world. It really, that project would align with my values. I am a retired early childhood person, so little kids and them figuring out who they are and what they're meant to be is important to me, but also the support of all the grown-ups that are in their life. So I feel like that would align beautifully with the things that drive me. So let me put on some music while you start considering the passion projects in your life. Feel free to share in the chat what's coming up for you, because you never know, something that is in you may spark something in someone else. I'm going to put on some music while you work on this, and then I'll go back to that other slide too. So if you missed any of the weeks, you can grab a screenshot of those. And again, these can be done anywhere in your journal. I'll be back to check in with you in just a few moments. Okay, the thing about working on our mind map is that we do have very limited time at a setup. And Jennifer actually sent me a message saying, we could do a whole social on this. And she's so right. Like we could really embrace our core values, think about those things and what drives us and things that just bring us make that passion bubble up and use our creativity. There's some really good things that are being dropped in the chat. I know you were very busy on your page. Many people, it's about helping others. I love, love, love that. You start thinking about your journey and how you can use your journeys in different areas to benefit others. This could be so powerful. So maybe we'll put that in our little back pocket and one day do a passion project um social. So if you're kind of sitting here and your brain hasn't had that coffee wake it up yet and you're like I'm not even sure, that's okay. What I love about our mind map questions is that they sort of help us kick off the week and they can bounce around throughout the week, throughout the month. Sometimes they never leave you. I always share with you how meaningful the theme of indulgence was and working on that mind map and really digging in to me and what indulgence looked like for me. It's still hitting today. It's still bouncing around, and I'm still thinking about that. So, if you didn't get it done quite yet, feel free to, go ahead and grab that. And I'm going to go back to this. Is this the quote? Kate, who asked about Leah? Is this the quote? Grab a quick screenshot if that's the one. Okay, grab a quick screenshot, and then you can. I know it's such a good quote. Opportunities, not obstacles, right? So grab that. And then you guys continue to like let this opportunity for your passion project, that creative um, thing that you have bounce around in your heads. And feel free to share if you end up journaling very deeply about that. Feel free to share in Sonder Club. We'd love to see that. And again, you guys inspire one another when you do that. So let's now turn to page 44, which is our rosebud thorn um, reflection from this past week. We look at our thorns, the things that didn't go well, that were kind of hiccups. Sometimes they're temporary, sometimes they're just there all the time. They could be like health issues or financial issues, but we're going to give it power, put it on paper, and maybe figure out a way to find what this is teaching us. The bud, what's coming up for you? What could bloom, blossom? What opportunities are you looking forward to? And then our roses, what went so well last week? What are you proud of? What are you celebrating? And it can be tiny things like I took my vitamins every day last week. These don't have to be big, huge things. So last week, my rose, my grandson had his tonsils out, but we got to be part of his recovery journey, which means he hung out with us. And so that was so lovely. He's 6 years old and we had just him, not his brother and sister too. And it's just nice to have that one-on-one time. Truly was my rose, just letting him chill and be at grandma's house. My bud, y'all, the wedding is almost here, 12 days from today, and my baby girl is getting married to her amazing man. And we're so excited because it's here. However, my thorn is that sweet man was actually at our family's cabin for his bachelor party. They all behaved. My son was there. There were 9 young men just hanging out, chilling, playing music, enjoying each other. And my future son-in-law got on a ladder to get some wasp and took a big fall, and he snapped his upper right arm. And I mean, it is snapped. And so I'm now here at the lake house, the camp house, because we had to close it down. He's back home to my daughter. They have an appointment today. He's going to need a rod. He's going to need surgery, but in the middle of getting ready for this wedding, that was not part of the plan. So definitely our thorn, but we are trying to find our silver lining. He didn't hit his head. He didn't shatter a joint. It's a glitch, but he's gonna be okay. But oh my gosh, and my daughter had actually driven up to Dallas to be with me because we had her final little dress fitting yesterday. So I ended up driving with her, blah blah blah. It was a whole thing. I actually overslept this morning because it was just hard. Anyway, there's my story. Thank you for listening to me, and just we would appreciate the good juju sent out into the universe for our his name's Adam, for our Adam, so that we can get through this surgery and get him on the road to recovery. And my daughter, bless her heart, one of the things she said is, I don't want it to be he's a lefty, so that's good. But she's like, I want to be able to put his wedding ring on his finger. So we are celebrating those small joys within our thorn today. Y'all feel free to share in the chat. Let us celebrate with you and let us send you hugs and just be with you, be present for your thorns. And I'll be back to check in with you in just a moment. My fingers couldn't type quickly enough. I was trying to type and keep up with the chat. There are some beautiful celebrations out there. We've got some milestones like hitting 28 weeks in a pregnancy. That's so exciting. Um, Someone mentioned that they were able to do like a virtual call with family. Aren't we lucky to live in this time of technology that keeps us connected? Like you guys are my favorite people and you're my community. And here we are, we've never met, but I just feel so connected to you because we get to gather together. And so I love that. We've got some thorns out there, a lot of health issues. I tell you, you don't realize um, this reflection is so important because we do realize how important our health is. And then when our thorn has to do with our health, it's like, we get, oh, whoa, it slows us down. Someone gave me some great advice. I forgot. I'm so sorry because we've been moving so fast, but sometimes when it's your health, it does make you slow down, right? You have to just focus on yourself, take care of yourself. I somebody I think I read one time, like if you don't rest, your body will tell you when you need to rest. Yeah, it's going to happen. So sometimes that's that little knock on the head, like, hey, slow it down. Let's reflect. Let's take care of our hearts and our souls as we're healing. So all of that stuff, there's just a lot of stuff out there. So thank you for sharing, for letting all of us kind of be in your life and upholding the thorns together, but also again, like cheering each other on for those roses and the buds. So before we get going with our whole setup, I wanted to talk a moment about that scratch pad that is in our weekly spread. So that scratch pad this week is on page 49, right? And I just I saw some examples in Sonder Club, and I'm just wanted to take a look at this scratch pad and ask you. Mine tends to be like just random notes. I don't have any rhythm or routine with it, but I thought it was worth spending just a moment talking about maybe how you use this. Do you use this on the regular? If you don't, maybe we can inspire one another for using this space that will work with this. Kate just put I don't know what to put there, so I don't use it. Yeah, mine is just like random stuff, maybe doodles. I don't know. So Jennifer says she's doing her monthly mind map this month on each week. Here's some examples from Sonder family, and I'd like you to drop in the chat if you have kind of a designated way that you use your scratch pad, because that could very much influence people who like me who really haven't landed on something. Okay, so die cut images, Joanna says, just kind of to decorate the page, make it pop. Jan is using it for the opening activities. You can see the one on the left is putting kind of the morning ritual reminders every day. So she's sitting down and doing her silk and salt. She's choosing and writing about mindset, I believe is what she's saying. Review the schedule for the day, her silk and sonder ritual, her affirmation. She's meditating or praying, and she has a daily 10. Don't know what that is, but it's her daily 10. The next one, this person kind of did a reflection piece, so maybe that could be a way you could ask yourself a question and do a daily answer on that. This one is this week I wanted to feel forgiven. What actions have I taken to feel forgiven? So maybe that was that feeling word. How do I want to feel this week? And then they're extending it into their weekly scratch pad, and then every day just a moment of reflection. So Monday, and she wrote nothing that I can recall but on Tuesday, yielded to Daniel regarding, and it says MWL, so I don't know what that is. Wednesday, stop judging myself. So doing just some quick little check-ins with self. And then the next one, it looks like just like a list, a to-do list is there, kind of those things for the week. And then the one that's all the way over on the right, it's got some to-do list. Daily, so maybe kind of a daily focus. And I love she's put a no spend sticker there. Alice just says she uses it for notes when she's reading an article. That's a good idea, like a way to kind of remember some of the high points of something you're reading. A shopping list for things that you will need the next week. A gift. Ah, that's a good idea. Like with the holidays coming, start generating those gift lists. Lots of you are leaving it open for just like the random notes. Oh, your therapy notes, Autumn. That's a really good idea. I love that. If you maybe if you have if you're thinking about looking at that personal coaching beta, some of your notes could go there. I haven't thought about that, so thank you for that. Quotes from the socials. Carol goes and puts that there. Your weekly work goals. Okay, so you could do like your personal stuff on all the other parts of your setup, but use that scratch pad designated for your job. Some great, great ideas. Okay, so thanks for throwing your ideas out there, because maybe now we'll be able to see this space in a new light that will generate some positivity in our lives. So thank you for taking a moment, indulging me with that to talk about our weekly scratch pad. And so now we'll dig into our weekly planner. So we will be on um wait, let's see. I think I skipped. Did I? Oh, no. We did the rosebud thorn. Hold on. Sorry about that. We're on page 46 and 47 this week. Thanks for your patience, y'all. I'm a little tired after yesterday. So here's a couple of pages that are completely set up. Grab these off of Sonder Club. So thank you for sharing if you have posted on Sonder Club. But this is, you can see, very different pages, a reminder that you're going to use this space as you need to use this, because this is your tool, your journal, and no one's grading it. No one's checking to see if you've done it. This is about your life. So you can see like their to-do sections. One is really focused on their morning routine. The other one is kind of going into their feelings for the week, and they're wanting to put that phone down and connect with someone or something positive. And then that is kind of reflected through the rest of that page. So let's start by thinking about how we want to feel this week. And it can be one word, it can be a quote, it can be your word of the year, it can be the same word you've had all month, the whole month of October. But here's some just fun examples of some of what our Sonder family has leaned into. Again, you can go as simple as I want to feel okay this week, or you can do a word for every single day of the week, like you see in the upper right-hand column. And then this person, look over on the left, kind of in the middle, just sort of answered a question. This week, I want to get up and get busy. So letting that be their driving force for the week. So it's about setting up what you need to take away today. So I'm seeing Elizabeth is saying rejuvenated, and Joanna has dropped in that this week she's wanting to feel emotionally strong. So, oh goodness, yes. So it's a tough week. And she's going to stay productive and focus on her home and being cozy. So being very deliberate, because it is a tough week with a lot of feels. So she wants to take care of herself by setting that. Deanna wants to feel gratitude. We're seeing rested, motivated, fight the vacation hangover. Oh, that's a true thing, isn't it? After you've been grounded, prepared, calm, confident. I love these words. So we're going to set that feeling for the week, right? And it's going to set ourselves in motion to make the best week we can have. So we're going to now take that word and frame out our weekly 3 goals, those major goals. Always like to remind you, go take a look at your habit tracker and your intentions. How are you doing with those things you set at the beginning of the month? And do they need to be reflected in your goals for the week? of course, set our lens through opportunity. And then I love to mention sometimes it's fun to take away things that don't serve us and have some no goals, no alcohol, no doom scrolling, no more than X minutes on social media, no impulse spending, no takeout meals. There's a lot of things that we need to take off of our plate to bring vitality to our lives. We're kind of wrapping up October. So maybe kind of backpedal through some of those other pages. Or there's some things that are outstanding that you want to do. Or maybe you'll just issue yourself a personal challenge to set up your goals for the week. And so we've got some great examples from our Sonder family. When we work on this page, I will go back and forth between all of these examples. So if you see something you like or you might want to think about trying, you could grab a screenshot of that too, just to help you remember. I really love this one on the bottom left. It's, more and less, 3 goals, but it's more of something and less of something. That's a fun way. Very simple. Did the little mathematical symbols for that and just boop, boop, boop. I really like that. Then, lots of folks like to use a category like left brain, right brain, no brain, or mind, body, spirit. You can keep it very simple down to like one word, like you see at the bottom there. And if you repurpose this section and you don't do the goals for the week, you really focus more on your intentions, and you do maybe to-dos, what do you put in the space? Please feel free to share any repurposing that happens with those goals. And then generally, after we do our goals, we take a look at those to-dos because some of the ways we accomplish those goals is through setting to-dos that will support those goals. So many of us love the idea of a bingo. It's just, it gamifies tasks and it just makes it a little more fun when we put our to-do list in that form. Here are some other examples from our Sonder family. You can divide these out into the categories that are in your life. So maybe you have a home to-do list and a work to-do list, or a home to-do list and a school to-do list. You can see there's a now and a and later list over there on the upper right. This person in the bottom middle has a home and then obviously a rental property. So 2 separate to-do lists, but in one space to help get those ideas going. Maybe need, want, and hope. That you can see the example of the work and home in the upper middle there, a morning and evening to-do list. And it looks like it's very much embracing that idea of a daily ritual, your rhythm and routine. The one on the bottom left used the Silk and Sonder stickers to create their weekly to-do list. I think it's just lovely, that little bingo board again. And then you can always leave this space blank. I do this. It's the to-do list. And that is when we go backward and we celebrate the things that we did that were not on the to-do list. We give ourselves a little pat on the back. And I just like the power of putting those things down that I accomplished. We always like to share this one. The Eisenhower matrix is a great way to take a really long to-do list and break it down into the things that are most urgent and important so that you can make sure you're using your time wisely. I'm very guilty of doing the not important, not urgent, very easy things first and still don't get to the stuff that really has to happen, because I want to take the easy route, right? That's human nature. So this tool is so good for those super long to-do lists. And you could even start thinking about maybe your Eisenhower matrix in terms of, okay, we're kind of finishing the last quarter of the year. What are my biggies that I want to do? And maybe create a list to sort of look at finishing 2024 in a strong way. What are some of those undones? Well, if you end up looking at plugging them into this and you find out, a couple of these things really aren't urgent and important, I'm going to go ahead and just take them off that list so that I can finish in the way I want to finish. So I think the Eisenhower matrix is a fabulous tool for that. What if you use your to-do list as a to-be list this week, to really be focused, to maybe lean into that feeling that you want to have? I thought this was a great graphic that has a lot of beautiful words on it that can help us think about just kind of the state we want to be in. I may actually try a to-be list this week just to kind of calm myself. Now, if you repurpose your to be list, we would love to know what you do. Drop that in the chat because you will inspire others. Let's drop down to that habit and activity section. Now, you have your habit tracker. For those of you who are for the first time, you've got that monthly habit wheel and it's got those habits on there. And so, those are the things that we want to do most days of the week during the whole month. But this tracker in the week is there because sometimes we just have activities that we want to remind ourselves of. Like I have carpool on Monday, Wednesday, Friday. And so we're going to write it in that activity tracker and check it off. That way we don't forget. Or we may put habits here. They can also be habits from that monthly tracker. That's okay too, to kind of double dip and make sure that it's happening. I love the quote, opportunities don't happen, you create them. I've got a couple of slides of great examples of this habit tracker to share with you. Please look at the one in the upper middle. They are only tracking 3 items. Don't feel obligated to those lines. It's sometimes hard not to want to fill in the lines, but if your week is crazy, maybe you only need to track 2 or 3 things. Be gentle with yourself. Look at the one on the bottom, only tracking water or that fluid intake. Am I hydrating? Am I taking good care of myself? This is a priority. It's the only thing I'm going to track. The one on the bottom shows how you can circle the days that you want something to happen. Again, that power of pen to paper, the visual of seeing that day circled. I'm gonna, commit to that. You are invited to set a number of goals, but you can also leave that goal space blank and just straight track, like you see this one on the bottom left. I love the idea of eating the frog. That is just that saying of get it done, right? There's this thing you don't want to do. We have them every single day. This person is tracking eating the frog, getting that one thing done out of the way. You can see on the upper left, there's a tracker that's completed. I love that you can see the grace they've extended themselves. They had a goal of 7. It says to wash my face. They did it three days. That's okay. They're tracking, right? It gives you information. This is not about making you feel bad. It's like, oh, feedback. Now this person can go, okay, what stood in the way of me meeting that goal? Because I only did it 3 times. I'm looking at this visual. Let me reconsider what needs to happen so that this habit can happen for the week. Tracking fruits and veggies by color. Isn't that a fun idea up there in the upper right? And then again, just a tracker, not tracking numbers, just goal, just tracking when it happens. Doesn't have a goal set. They're just using the colors to indicate when their habits happen. So I'm going to stop talking. I'm going to go back to our goals and I will go through all these slides again so you can catch them one more time while you set up this page. Again, I would appreciate you sharing any way you repurpose any of these spaces because you do inspire one another and you may have this idea that like someone that's exactly what I was looking for. So please share as we work on these pages and I'll come back around and check in with you in just a few minutes. Go to the next page. right. The question came up in the chat. So maybe this person isn't necessarily setting a number of goals. Yes, you don't have to set these goals. Maybe this is just a straight tracker. It's really what you need. Sometimes, pardon me, sometimes those numbers do a number on us and we get very tied to it and anxious. And if that happens, then just do a straight track. Don't set a goal and then evaluate at the end of the week if you're happy with what that looks like. Again, it's about setting yourself up for success. So if seeing that number there makes you anxious or like, oh, I can't believe, I've wanted to do this 7 times this week and only did it 3. If it's really going to send you into a place that's not great, then just do a straight tracking. And then next week, you can go and maybe you like, okay, I wanted to do it 4 times and I did it 2 times. So I'm going to set a goal for 3 this week, right? If you wanted to do that. Okay. Someone has asked for the rested. I'm hoping is it that one? Grab us. I think that's what you're looking for, Tanya. Grab just a quick picture or a screenshot, and then we will go over. And yes, Cynthia has a great suggestion for you. She says she puts washi tape over the goal column and the total column. So she's not even looking at it. So again, it's about taking what you need, right? We've got to be good to ourselves. Sometimes I need to see those numbers, right? I need that motivation. But other times, I need to focus on things that are going to bring me joy. And if the number is feeling uncomfortable, I'm not going to put it there. I'm just going to track it, right? Because that's how I'm going to be good to myself. So you take a look at what you need and embrace that. All righty. So let's flip over to the other side. We're going to be looking at that meal plan, our Mon Body Health Plan, the shopping list, and kind of that I am loving space. You can see again 2 beautiful examples from Sonder family. Both of these people are using their meal plan section for their affirmations, but they are using the other spaces in different ways. So that's just, again, that reminder to do what you need in your journal. Let's start with that meal plan. This person is sort of tracking their main meal of the day, not all 3 meals. So you can definitely use it as your meal plan or a meal tracker. Lots of folks will do I focus on proteins and I do it on an app on my phone, but I know a lot of people like to put their macros in here, or you can plan out your 3 meals. Lots of times I'll use this as a leftover tracker if we're in a big old cooking frenzy at home, because it's just 2 of us. I don't want to eat bad food. So share, as we're going along, if you repurpose this, somebody's already said, I use this as my affirmation tracker. You can do a symptom tracker, daily debrief, daily scripture, schoolwork, homework, lesson plans, reminders for work. I love the one on the bottom right, that glad reflection, grateful, learned, achieved, delighted, kind of that reflection over the week, sort of like a rosebud thorn, if you will. Don't forget about those water droplets. I think it's brilliant. The folks who will color code their fluid intake so they know if they're drinking tea or coffee or water or lemonade. Just grabbing those little markers and using that if you're really leaning into tracking your hydration through this. You can also use your droplets as little check-ins with self. Maybe you're trying to have, a mindful moment every working hour of the day. So there's 8 water droplets. And when you check in, you could just check off one of the water droplets. How am I feeling right now at this moment? Take a breath. Check off each hour during your workday. Chore list, appointments, a wardrobe tracker, a packing list. So many ways to use this lovely. I always say this is a juicy space because we've got those really big rectangles in there that's just waiting for us. Lots of folks will lean into the 7 types of rest. How am I resting? How am I taking care of myself? there's a graphic from our Instagram page. If you're not following Silk and Sonder, I always say follow the Instagram page for great content about taking care of yourself. But sometimes people will do focus on a different type of rest for each day, or you may figure out what area of rest you really are lacking in. So maybe you're feeling very stressed, and so perhaps you need some emotional rest. And so this space will become how you're going to focus on emotional rest, and you're going to be leaning into journaling and into maybe reading some inspirational works, some things that will help settle you so you will really focus on one type of rest. Feels and meals, I love that. Like, how am I feeling? Because, I'm an emotional eater. I found myself yesterday, I'll be honest, I've been trying to be so healthy and I downed a hamburger and a huge order of fries because I was hungry. We were nervous. We blah, blah. I defaulted to how I numb. Right. And so it might have been a good idea for Jennifer Ogilvy to stop for a moment and say, how am I feeling? What do I need? Because I don't think french fries was the answer. It was momentarily, but I think I'll pay for it later. But that reflection of, if eating is where you go to numb, maybe this is what goes in this space. Self-care plan, weekly reflection. I love all the ideas. Now, the mind body health plan, I always use this for me. This is my selfish space. So it's about what I'm going to do for myself. It may be just, painting my nails, carving out 30 minutes to read outside, where I'm very intentional about doing that, not just I read it, taking those moments for myself. Because, like this little pumpkin says, allow yourself to love and care for yourself as much as you love and care for others. And remember that rest is more than napping on the sofa. Rest is anything that makes your nervous system calm down, feel safe, so that your stress responses will switch off and you will calm and recover. So, just a couple of reminders. Again, this is okay to have a very selfish space in your journal. Here's some ideas for this space, how you're going to do it. Look at the one that's there kind of on the bottom, sort of embracing that idea of how do I want to be. So I love that. So, the one in the bottom, there's the meal plan. The main meal for the day is going there so that the real meal plan is freed up for some other things. You could put a little bingo here. I love the idea of a little journal reflection every day, just that little self check-in. Look at the self-care corner. I love that, the selfish box. This person in the upper example there is just kind of tracking the things that feed their mind and their body and their spirit. So for their mind, they're doing their Wordle puzzle of the day. Their body is their steps, and then their mind, their spirit is a devotional. So just made that a little me tracker. So I love that. And then that shopping list can be used for financial things. You can use it right as a shopping list. Now, my shopping list is on my phone. I share it with my husband because whoever's out can pick up whatever's on that list. But I love the idea if financial stuff is something that you're working on, maybe this turns into kind of tracking the big expenditures for the week or just that reminder of no unnecessary spending. And then I tend to put my bingo here, but you look at all these great examples from Sonder family. And someone had mentioned earlier that they repurpose a space and they do like a social check-in and they make sure they see how folks are doing. And look at this example that's on the upper kind of left there. And so they've chosen the folks they're going to check in with, and they've got a little grid there, and the days that they check in, they'll track that, and it's either a call, a text, or a face-to-face, and there's little symbols to represent how I connected with the important people in my life. That connection's so important, so I love that. I actually put a social tracker in my monthly habit tracker, and I write the initials in of one of the people I connected with on that day, because this one really spoke to me. I think it's important to have that connection in our lives. Look at the one that's on the upper left, what is out and what is in. I love that. So that's kind of that. Take away the things that don't serve you and embrace the things that are making you a better you. I love that in and out. So you can see lots of different ways to repurpose any of these spaces on this page. I love this page for the repurposing. And then, of course, we ask ourselves the question at this very moment, what are you loving? And just put that in there and drop in the chat while we work on this page. What are you loving right now? Do you have a new product? Did you discover a new podcast? Is there a song that's new in your life? Did you try a new food? Let us know. What are you loving? Again, because your inspiration inspires us. I'll be back to check in with you in just a few moments. Sonder social hours are the quickest hours of our lives. Remember that this social, as well as all the other socials that happen, have been recorded and will be posted to the private YouTube channel. Jennifer's going to drop that link in the chat. If you are unable to capture that link, always know you can email hello@silkandsonder.com and they'll be able to connect you with the assistance that you need. We would love to see how you set your journal up in Sonder Club so that we can share and grab examples. Maybe you'll see something you do in one of these socials. And there are those QR codes that connect you to getting an annual subscription, sharing with a friend, getting a little kickback for that. Your survey. I cannot tell you how privileged I am that I got to start my day with you. Team Jennifer loves Monday mornings together, and we love it together with the Sonder family. Thank you for joining us. You guys take good care of yourselves. Look for those opportunities in your life and remember how amazing you are. We will see you very soon, Sonder family. Make it a great week.
Why is everybody in the world seem so divided? Why is everybody gotta hate each other? Who decided? If I took all the world's pride and all the world's money and wrapped it in a blanket and put it in a buggy, could you see that maybe that baby was just the same as you are? You know it's never been easy. Every day for everybody ain't breezy. And I hope you realize when you look into another person's eyes, you know today would be a very good day just to have a good day. You know today would be a very good day just to have a good day.